MK and I am back with another Color Craze combination for you guys today. I have this one for you guys. It's a beautiful color palette. I absolutely love this peachy pink color within a very good neutral. I'm also pairing this up with Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches and this beautiful sketch right here that I will be trying to recreate. I'm also going to be playing with a whole bunch of, I believe it's More Than Words Cocoa Vanilla collection. I struggled with this one when it first came in because of the fact that it was very girly on my end. So I really quickly wanted to tell you guys who this sketch is by. It was created by Alicia or Alicia. I don't really know exactly how to say the first name. Lawrence, just for Christy's 30 days of sketches. So I love the fact that all of these sketches are exclusive to the 30 days, but she shares it, you can use it, and they're, go back to all of them. So anywho, just thought I would share that with you guys. Thank you, Alicia, for letting us use your sketch and sharing it with us. So I have a couple butterflies that were cut from this paper pack right here. I've showed you guys a little bit of odds and ends that I've already pulled out from other paper packs. I have 4 photos that I'm going to be putting on this layout, but you'll see what I have in mind for that. Also from More Than Words. So actually the whole collection's More Than Words. I don't even know why I keep saying it. But I also have this really cool paint swoosh, it's a paint strip from this paper pack right here that I've held onto because, again, it's that peachy pink that I absolutely love. And inside this cut apart sheet is a couple other pieces that I might want to bring in, but I'm not too sure. And then I might want to bring that gray in, except that my color palette is a little on the darker grayish brown side. So I'm not really sure, but I did bring in this gray. Again, I thought that it was gray more than it was brown. I'm not really sure. I guess to each their own, maybe. I'm not sure. So anywho, I have these 4 photos that I plan on doing, but I'm going to actually cut out all of these pictures. So they're not really going to be full 4x6s. And then for the corner pieces on the sketch, I'm actually going to use these oxides. So I have Tattered Rose, pumice stone, and then antique linen. So I do plan on doing those. I brought in my my blending tool just in case I wanted to blend, but I ended up doing packaging technique. Yep. So I'm going to represent the 2 corners with packaging. That is what I plan on doing, but I'm starting closer to in the middle, and I want to work my way out because the design that I envision, it's very light, very soft. And so I really want the packaging to start from underneath the photos and go out softly rather than it go all the way to that corner and then I miss it, and then and it's big and bold and I didn't want it big and bold. So I'm just creating a base layer, if I should say, in Tattered Rose and antique linen. I'm creating this base layer for the rest of my embellishments. So instead of having a large doily or a large label or anything like that, I'm actually using the packaging technique and creating my large space for my embellishments. Yeah, that's it. I'm just creating a nice base. So there it is up close and personal. I just really wanted to show you guys in case it was too light to show through on the camera. So now I'm going to use this beautiful wood grain as my photo mat, and I'm going to mat every single one of my photos on this wood grain. So it's going to have one mat and all of these photos all shoved in together. And I've got the pictures of all the plaques that are around this absolutely beautiful church, you guys. This is the very first church. It's actually the first Presbyterian church in Virginia City. Virginia City is located in Nevada. It is just, I want to say, south. It's just south of Carson City, Nevada. I absolutely love going to Virginia City, even though I've been there a million times. I always see something new there. I always see something very, very interesting. Now, this church was founded in 1862, but the building didn't actually exist until 1866. That is a long time for a building to be standing, and yet there it is. Anyways, I have to tell you guys that this church cost, well, yeah, I'm impressed with this, you guys, because of, back then's dollars. Last year, or not last year, but this church was built with $4,000, actually 4,700 to be exact, raised by the people that went to the church. So it was all raised for them to have a building. Now this church was, so it's very interesting. This church has a huge history because it was one of the buildings that survived the, It's one of the buildings that survived the fire that was in, how do I say it? In Virginia City, there was a huge fire. A lot of people couldn't recover from it because of the crash of gold, all that good stuff. And so this church, in 1975 or 1875, this church turned into its courthouse, because again, it was one of the only buildings left standing after they call it the Great Conflagration. Anybody know what that is? I don't. But yes, it was one of the major buildings left standing after 1875. And so they ended up using it as a soup kitchen for those that lost their houses. They ended up using it for the courthouse. This building has a huge history behind it, and it is still a church today. And everything, they ended up buying the property that it was on. They bought the building, everything, for less than $12,000. And it was owned by the people of the church. And so it didn't have one owner. I just absolutely love that. So anyways, enough about the history of the church. I do have to say that the building was left to Julia. I apologize for butchering her name, but it's Julia Boulette or Boulay. I don't know how to say that. And she gifted it to the town of Virginia City, before her death. And so anyways, it's been a part of Virginia City forever, but it ended up becoming in her name and everything in 1867. So just the history of this church, you guys. If that didn't make any sense, it's because nothing makes sense. I am forcing myself to not have a cold at this moment. And so anyways, so nothing makes any sense to me at this moment in history. So anywho, what I have done is I took that swash of beautiful pink and, that I just had left over on those strips of paper, and I ripped them out so that way I could create a top and a bottom that represented, the strips of paper that were above and below the photos in the sketch. I also had all of these little peachy leftovers, from 49 and Market, and a couple other pieces like the ones I'm ripping now that I believe those are 49 and Market as well, one of their first collections. To be honest, Wedgwood, I think, is where they're from. And I actually embossed them with an embossing folder and then ran my sander over them so that way the white would show through. Pretty cool effect, by the way. And I just stuck them in here and there and everywhere. And now what I'm doing, which I kind of fast forwarded a lot because of the fact that I fussy cut around all of my images. So I have vellum images as well as printed images on white cardstock. And I just, the white border around it is just a little bit too much for my liking. Even on the vellum was just too much. So I fussy cut around it, and I wanted to make sure that I fast forwarded it. And as I was fussy cutting, I was placing it down. So I missed a bunch of that stuff, but now I'm just adding in my larger butterflies before I go and add in all of my tiny little butterflies. But as you can see where my mixed media is barely showing, it's still a great effect behind all of my images because you can still see it, and it just made a beautiful cluster and filled in all those gaps that I would have otherwise had I not did the packaging first. So I would have had all those white little gaps everywhere without all that mixed media underneath it. I know that some of the things are like, well, it seems pointless that I did that, but the overall effect is still very there that I was looking for. I also put a butterfly over one of the plaques that is actually on the church because I took a close-up picture of it, and so I already have a picture of it up in the upper right with the two plaques up there. So I wasn't too worried about covering up that spot. Plus, I really wanted that fourth butterfly right there. And right exactly there. So that way I get the whole triangle effect and going across the page effect. I felt like that it was needed to get that, to make that happen. And then I have a bunch of all these teeny tiny little leaves that are again going to help me with my triangle design, as well as help me fill in a few other little gaps that I thought were needed. And then of course I realized that I didn't glue some of the elements down, so I go back and do that as well. I love how this looks. Now you can't really tell that I used that wood grain. You can't even tell that it's wood grain anymore because I covered it all up. Unless you get real close and personal with the layout itself, then you can definitely tell that it is well, not really a wood grain, but a beautiful striped paper, like a watercolory striped paper. Then I'm going to pull out these enamel dots and go ahead and scatter them all throughout. Just in one color though. I didn't plan on using all the other colors. I was just sticking with my color palette from the Color Craze combination that we chose today. So I just did that very soft peachy feel, that, I don't know, like blonde. Oh, I haven't done that yet. I thought I did that. Huh. I got ahead of myself. I'm doing it now though. There was a couple elements that I showed you earlier that I did not end up using at all. Here I am struggling with a heart again. I don't know why I struggle so bad with hearts. That little word sticker just says unforgettable because I just think that this church is amazing. I didn't actually go into the church this go around, but it is beautiful on the inside as well as it is on the outside. And like I said, they still do services in there. At 10 o'clock. They do, it's not services. I don't know what the word is, you guys. I apologize. And now I'm taking that tattered rose again and splattering a little bit of splatters, and I'm going to call this done. When I do a page like this, I love doing soft pages like this, you guys. It is so not me. I'm usually grungy and geary, but I have to say that I love doing every now and then a page like this. And with this color palette, I love the peaches and I love the browns and I love the creams and I love the grays. I love this color palette. It is one of my favorites. And that church had that exact color palette, on its siding. And so I had to do it. So anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and listening to me babble on about the First Presbyterian Church in Virginia City. I really, truly appreciate it. Be sure to check out Janet Fritz, who is Galaxy Girl Creations here. She is playing along with me this month for Color Craze. And also to check out everyone else that is adding to this playlist of ever-growing videos for Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. Thank you, Alicia, for this, or Alicia, I apologize, for this beautiful sketch. I really, really did enjoy creating with it. There's also the Facebook group for Christy's Beautiful Life down below if you guys are interested. And I will check y'all later. Bye.